All right, I want to thank everybody for attending our Impact Weekly Wednesday webinar. This session, we're going to cover the settings, Impact Suite settings. I've had a lot of other webinars and they're recorded. You go up and look at some specific, but I wanted to go over some areas that I've had questions over the years about what are the settings inside of it. So right now you're looking at this native app with nothing turned on. None of my settings, Impact settings, turned on. So to get to the settings in Impact, right here at the top, click on Impact Suite, and these are the settings, right? Of course, the first area is just the About screen. Let's go to the first button here, the Enhance. So if I click on Enhance, these are areas that you will visually enhance the ACT application. Like one here, enhance the navigation bar. This is ACT's native navigation bar on the left, and I'm saying enhance it. So if I say apply, we now have the Impact navigation bar. Same thing happens here with the different views inside of ACT. So if I say okay to this, let me go to the calendar view. This is just ACT's native calendar view. So I go to monthly, that's ACT's native calendar view. And if I wanted to enhance it, what I would do is right here, calendar view. If I just hit enhance and I apply, then as you can see the screen change behind us. So we now have the Impact enhanced navigation. One of the things about some of these enhancements over the years, people want to get back to the original, or we install Impact and they're used to, Monday morning, they're used to the original ACT calendar. They get kind of confused or whatever. But right up here, we always have a little enhanced toggle button. So if I click on this now, as you can see, it flipped off the enhancement and put it back onto the ACT, right? So that's again the toggle on and off. What this does up here, enhancement, by having it on here, when you restart ACT, it's always going to be enhanced. You don't have to toggle it. So you can go into the different areas and say, well, I enhance the task list, I enhance the contact list, again, inside of here. Now, detachable is just that. You can detach, I have a short little video on it, which allows you to move screens around, especially very nice with multiple monitors. And then over here, we have contact, group, company, and opportunity. This has to deal with the four major views inside of ACT. So let me just go to the contact list here. And you see you have an activity list, and this is ACT's native activity list. If we come back into here and enhance, here's the activity list. We turn that on. That's the master list. But over here under the contact, I want to enhance that. This is the contact details. And as you can see, it enhanced it below there too. And that can happen under groups, companies, and opportunities. You can enhance the tabs for each one of those. Okay, that's enhancements. This is the ACT's native views. You have contact, company, group, and opportunity stuff. But you also have custom tables inside of here. And over here on the right, this is our custom bar here. Well, I have a set of custom views inside of ACT. And if I click on this little customize button, I can turn it on and off which ones of these I want to see. We were over here and we said, well, we can go to the, the calendar view or the contact view. I now have a custom view called rentals. So here's all my rentals in my database. I have a view called mortgages, and here's all my mortgages in my database. And that is on the enhancements here. So if I also want to see the mortgages inside of the contact tab, I can turn that on here. Same way I have activities enhanced here, I also have mortgages enhanced down here. Okay? All right, let's go to images. All right, so this is our images. Now, what do images do? Well, contact, company, group, and opportunities are the top 4 level entities. But some people don't like to call them contacts, they like to call them customers. So if I come inside of here, and instead of saying contact, I want to call it a customer, what that does is it changes it to customer, and when I apply it, you now see it says the customer view. So we just took ACT's native view of contact, and we called it customer and customer list. So that's under the images. And again, it's under images because I may want to change that icon. So again, here's customer, right? And I'm going to select the icon. If I hit select, we deliver a lot of icons here that that are available with Impact, but you can have your own icon too. So let me just go into an icon. I don't know. Let's just go into an icon here, and I'm looking for something that's a customer icon. I don't know. Here, let's use this guy. So now we have that icon, a hard hat, a construction worker named customer. Again, that's under images. These, of course, are the 9 standard ACT layout views, and these are our custom tables. Remember, we created a table called mortgages and such. I can come along and give it a display name, and I can select an icon for each custom table that we have inside of here. One thing that's also cool here is the top left logo. Up here, it says ACT. Okay, I'm not trying to hide ACT's logo, but we're going to replace it. And one of the reasons why we're replacing it is, like I had a customer that had 4 different databases, and if they jumped in and out of different databases, they would always forget which ones they were in. So what we were able to do with them is they could select the logo. I have one that's an F1 car, and I just applied that. So now you can see that while we're inside of this database, it gives us a visual indication of it. And if I switch different databases, you can change that upper left icon for each database. Okay, let's go back into images. Okay, that was images. Again, these are all the settings I want to get through. Activities. I'm not going to drill down into each one of these things. I'll try to do a top level one. One of the things is you can enhance the edit activity window. So if I want to change meetings, I'll say edit this meeting. Here I have in my designer the new what does that window look like? And I could say, oh, I just want it to look like this. This is an activity form. So by saying it's a meeting and putting a check mark in there, now when I right click and I say schedule a meeting, there's our new form. And if I right click on this and say, schedule a call, that's the ACT standard schedule activity call. And if I want to enhance the call meeting, again, go back to activities, turn this on, and say OK. And then now if I right click and I say schedule a call, I have the enhanced call meeting. So that's the settings for activities, allowing you to enhance the different areas. Okay, let's go to histories. What do the histories do? Well, first, if we come over to here and we go to the History tab, we have a set of buttons in here. Now, with ACT, if you're contacting a lot of clients, doing sales calls, leaving messages, you want to record all that in history. But you don't want to have to every time you do one is record a history that I left a message on this date and this time. There's a lot of key clicks inside there. Well, these are preset buttons here where we can design things to happen. So I go back to histories. So this first button is red, and I'll say left message, and I was a call, meeting, or to do. You can select what activity type, call attempted, call left message. So I have this left message on. I'll do another one. and I'll say call attempted. But on this one, I'm going to turn on the open, right? So I have two of them inside of here now. And see, now they're drilled down here for us. So if I say left message, there it is. It just entered it in for us. Call left message. That quickly, you can just sit here and go from contact to contact and say you left a message. But on this one, I put the option on to open. So this one, if I say left message, see, it's call attempted. I could say he was on vacation. So you can have different buttons doing different events, and you have up to 8 different buttons to record quick actions for. Okay, that was the history area. Let's go to the tab indicators. What the tab indicators are, I just look at the top level. I'm looking at this Ashley Allen's record, and I don't know if I have activities scheduled with her or if I have any notes. Do I have an opportunity scheduled with her? In order to find that information out, you kind of have to drill around and look for it. Well, I want to know whether I have an activity scheduled for her without having to drill around. So if I come into the tab indicators, these are the tabs. And if I go to the activity tab, that's activities here, I'm going to display this green icon, and I'm going to say, give me the count on there. So I'll say, okay. And as you can see now, I'm on the relation tab, or I'm on the social update tab. I know I have one activity scheduled with her. So let's just stretch this out a little bit further. Histories, sorry, tab indicators. And let's go down to the other ones. So I just turned all these 4 on. And now I can see, well, it's grayed out. There's no history. Sorry, there's no opportunities there. Now this history one, it doesn't have the counter because I didn't turn that on. It just is green because we have documents, but we don't have any notes. Anything else? So let's go back to the tab indicators, go back to history, and put on the option, display the count. And let's do the notes, let's do documents, and let's do opportunities. And now you see, I have 12 histories attached. I have 0 opportunities. I have 1 document. And if I move to another record, no activities for this user. I have an opportunity scheduled underneath here, but one's closed and one's open, and so forth, right? So that is the tab indicators, and count open opportunities or count all opportunities. So if you have a history of somebody that's giving you an opportunity once a month, but they have 2 open opportunities, you don't want to see, I have 14 opportunities with them. You say, I just want to see the open opportunities. That's why that was saying 1, even though there was 2 opportunities in there. Okay? One of the things, to put a note on this, is that this is doing a little bit of overhead when you're going from record to record, because it's got to update all the values inside of here. Some people have found that they turn all these on, and then when they go to the next record, they say, my act seems slow. It's not kind of refreshing as quickly. Well, it's got to do all the calculations for each one of those tabs to update the interface here. So what I've done with people is say, well, limit on the tab indicators what you turn on. Just don't turn everything on, because if I turn all 40 of these on, then you're going to get maybe a 2-second, 3-second delay as you navigate. So I would say just leave the ones on that you really use. Okay, let's go. On here, tab indicators, that also appears under companies, groups, and opportunities. So I can go to the company view inside of ACT and also have the tab indicators on. And see, this is our little icon. It says customer. Remember, we changed the customer icon. it flows through the entire system when you change an image. Okay, let's go to Smart Notes. What is a Smart Note? Well, there's two things. There's a Smart Note and a Sticky Note. Well, a Sticky Note is just that, where, let's just say, okay, here, I'm on John Chance's record, and right here, I want to put a new Sticky Note, and I'll say, daughter makes key decisions, right? So daughter makes key decisions. So when I walk onto his record, see, it's sticky. It's always there. So anytime anybody in the company jumps onto his record, you're going to see those notes for that user. And as you see what I was doing, I moved it around. It remembers its position. Oh, it was too low. Let's put it up here. Right? And if I want to move it over top of here, so the user goes, oh, let's go to John's record. Oh, it's right on top. I can't even see his information. So I can put it right here. So every time the user walks onto the record, it's right there. That's a sticky note. Let's close. Do you want to delete it? Yes. What a smart note is, it's like a sticky note, but it depends on conditions. Like, I'm going to modify this one I have in here. And what this is saying is, it's a smart note. If they have an opportunity, then bring forward, bring forward a note. And I'm going to say a condition. I'm just going to use one of these conditions. We can edit the condition. So this happens to be the contact country contains the U.S., but I could have other conditions inside of here. And if I say OK to that, in the U.S., and I'll say OK. Now, when you walk onto somebody's record, I guess we said the United States. Let's go back to our smart notes. In the U.S., edit. Let's do a new one. New condition. Contact, say opportunity, status, contains data. Add to the list, preview it. All right, so I'll say status. So I'm just creating a condition here, right? So I have a condition, and your conditions can be anything that you want it to be. So I should have a status condition here now. Let's remove this one, and the status condition, and say OK. And say OK. And now, all right, I'm going to look into that for. I'm just going off the fly here, and my smart notes may not be. I'm going to take one more look. Oh, rule expired. Here's a good thing. It even tripped me out. I gave the rule name. I said whether it's active, and then I said when it expires. So you might have like a promotional inside of the company say, hey, I'm going to create a rule where this sticky note pops up. If the contact matches the condition of they have an open opportunity, we're going to give them 20% off, and I'm going to make that condition only good till 2025. So now I'm going to put the expiration date in the future. Hopefully that is what's causing me not to see this. There it is. So now I walked onto Joe's record. Joe matched that condition, and his sticky note came forward. So if I go to somebody else's record, he doesn't match a condition. Oh, this one does match a condition. So again, this is a smart note rather than a sticky note. And smart notes can be conditional and can expire, can be active, and whatnot. So that is smart notes. Okay, undelete. What is undelete? Undelete is just that. If you accidentally delete a record, you can undelete it. This is not perfect, meaning we don't pull back everything. We're not rolling back a database. What we're doing is, before the delete happens, we're capturing that information, storing it offline, and then allowing the user to bring that data back online later. So let me go to this user, Wilhelm Loke, and let me say customer, and I'm going to say delete this customer. Cannot be undone, of course not. So ACT removes it from the SQL database. And that's why you can't roll back, right? So that record is out of the database. All your backups don't have it or anything else. But if we go to Impact and we go to Undelete, we now have an entry in here. You see that? So 529 deleted by Jim Durkin in this contact record. If I click on the view, this is, again, the raw data that we captured before the actual SQL delete event. He was a VP operations, his spouse's interest, anything on any of these fields, even custom fields, we recorded that. We also recorded histories and notes and activities. They're all recorded offline. Well, I'm going to take this record and I'm going to say undelete it. Are you sure you want to undelete it? Say yes. And it's undeleting the record right now. And it's still undeleting the record. There we go. So as you can see, the interface kind of jumped for us, right? So we're actually on William Loke's record again. Not the fastest thing in the world, as you can see, but how often, undeleting records, it shouldn't be. This should be like a catch-all, like, oh, I had Tom Jones in here. I don't see him. What the hell happened to him? If you go to your undelete event, you'll be like, oh my God, somebody deleted him. Jim Durkin deleted him 5 days ago. Jim, why'd you delete him? So you get answers to that. And then when we restored it, that's what's happening right now. We're restoring all that data. The undelete will only work if Impact is installed when you deleted the record. If you delete a record, say, oh man, I want to delete them again, ACT removes it from the SQL database. But if Impact wasn't installed, we didn't capture that event and create those backup text files for you to restore. So installing Impact post-delete and saying, oh, where's William Loke's record? It wasn't captured. It's not going to happen that way. It's only if Impact was installed at the time that you deleted the record. Like I said, not the quickest thing, but there it is. William Loke's record has been undeleted. If I say okay to this, here's the opportunities. We're on William Loke's record. Opportunities. Here's histories that we did to him. So his record's back. Okay, let's look at options. Okay, some of these options are kind of interesting. It's depending on how you do your data entry. Like adding and editing records. Edit a record, your user must save or user must navigate. What does that mean? All right, well, let's go here and do this, right? So if we go into the customer record, and here's our mortgages, right? And let me just kind of clean this up a little bit here. Just mortgage, we don't need pivot charts on. And let's create a new mortgage. So I'm creating a new mortgage record, right? And you can't really hear it beeping, but I cannot leave this record and type inside of here until this event is closed. So I must save and close that record. And see, that information was put in here. But there are times when you want to create something, maybe it's a class schedule, and you want to look up other contacts while you're doing the data entry. Under kind of cases like that, what you can do inside of Impact, if you go to Options, edit a record in the list view, or edit a record in the details view, we can say, user can navigate. So let me say okay to that. Let's go back to the mortgages, and this time I'm going to right-click, I'm going to say new mortgage. Looks the same. Everything else is, I can type in values here. Oh, my next mini calendar pop up. I have a new mortgage up here, but if you notice, like I can come into here and I can put focus on here. So I actually have two events going on at the same time. I have this data entry window and I have this data entry window. And in fact, if I go, I can navigate off of different users and I can go into mortgages and I can go to this user and create a new mortgage. And again, I can be editing what department they're in. Oh, he's a corporate guy, and I can give a corporate mortgage. Storage. So as you can see, that's what that's about, is it gives you the flexibility. The one thing about that flexibility is it gets confusing for some users. This is a dialog box. And on most window-based applications, when a dialog box opens, the users need to capture that information, save and close that dialog box before they can do something else. And with that option, we break that general rule. So let's go to options. User can navigate or user must save. Some of the options, add a contact view. Do not attach a contact's company, right? So Brad is attached to Green Plastics. If I say a new mortgage here, oh, let's just do something else. Let's do enhanced. Let's turn some of these on. Let's just see what we have here. Again, I'm just turning on some of our custom tables. So here we are. Here's an invoice one. And I'm going to say create a new invoice. What I was looking for is a custom table record can be attached to the contact, to a company, to a group, or an opportunity at the same time. And if I say a new rental here, right, okay, here's a good example. We're going to use the rental record. So when I created this new rental, it's only attached to Brad, not attached to the company. Even though Brad is attached to a company, we said, let's not attach it to the company at the same time. Unless we come in on the contact view, attach the primary company. So I'm going to change that. And now if we go back to rentals, and I say new rental, as you can see, now it's contact, Ben, and also to the company, Green Plastics. So attached to both the contact and the company at the same time. Very handy sometimes. If we go back into Impact, the options, same thing kind of happens on the opportunity view. So if I was on the opportunity view, I was adding a rental record under the opportunity. It's of course attached to the current opportunity, but you may also want to attach it excuse me. You may want to attach it to all the contacts that are attached to the current opportunity. So that's where these flavors come in, where you can change those. Let's go down here. Color column on the current search. Okay, what is that, right? So say if let's turn that off first, right? Let's just go back in here, options. And say I want to go and look up the city, right? I say, look up the city, Los Angeles. Right, so now we did a lookup. Oh, this is our lookup, which I like our lookup because I may want to say New York. So I don't have to close and go back open. I can literally just sit here and do lookup upon lookup in the list view. All right, but that's what we're saying is the city. We're actually looking filtered off the city. If you do a lookup inside of Impact, and you go to the options, color column for the current search. Search, filter, lookup, very interchangeable. And I want that column to be, this color, right? And I'll say okay to that. So now, you see what happened over here? That column is now yellow. But if I come back into here and I say I want to look up the country code, see, it's now showing us the country code is the one in there and not the zip code. So it highlights, look up the city. See, it highlights the color, what you're currently filtered on. Very handy for some people. They really do like that one. Let's come back into options, and we can turn that off. Hide the big easy toolbars. A lot of users need navigation. This happened more in the past where monitors were small. You only had so much real estate. This is the big easy toolbar up at the top here. I can say hide it, and you see I just hid that big easy toolbar up there. That gives you a couple more, an inch of space at the top. Some people like those buttons at the top, and again, nowadays with big monitors, it may not be that impressive to come along and say hide the big easy toolbar, but that's what it does. It hides the big easy toolbar. Okay, let's look at the last three sections. Math scripts. I don't want to get into what a math script is. There's different videos on there, but this is where you would come along and you would create a script, or you would modify a script inside of here. So that's our math and scripting. Automation. Again, there's a whole nother series of webinars on automation. So this list shows you all the automations that you have in your database, things like that. Email automation. The difference between automation and email automation is automation can be something as, hey, I want to print a document. I want to schedule an activity. I want to create an opportunity. So these are kind of pre-coded in here of internal automations that happen inside of here. And if we go to email automations, it's just that. It's only for emails. So if I look at this one, see, I'm designing an email inside of here. So this is email automation. So the email automation and the automation are a little bit different, but these sections will give you the areas of what automation you have in here. Round down the top two, radius lookup. It's a radius lookup feature, which shows up on the bottom left of the navigation. And solutions. This is really for first-time users. If you had a database that you've already adjusted over the years and everything else, you probably aren't coming in to look at a solution inside of here. So that's it. That rounds out of the Impact Suite settings for version 12 for ACT. This is ACT V25, the current release. Again, I want to thank everybody for attending, and I look forward to seeing you all next week on Wednesday's webinar. Bye.